Disappointed! These are the top 10 most disappointing games of 2014. First up, the honorable mentions. Now, it was a disappointing year for MMOs, WildStar and Arcade just not living up to their expectations. It was a disappointing year for next-gen consoles, not named Wii U, because the Wii U did great, with games like Sunset Overdrive and Second Son Infamous being underwhelming next-gen examples of both of those systems. But it's been the worst for AAA titles coming from the big companies, Activision, EA, and Ubisoft. Here is a list of ones that I've played, and even ones that I don't normally play, but just had to spread the word about. Number 10.
Oh God, I hope this doesn't kill me.
My eyes just exploded. Alright. Civilization Beyond Earth is a straight up reskin of Civilization 5, okay? They had the chance to continue where they left off with Alpha Centauri and evolve and add so many new things, but what ended it up is essentially a reskin, a total conversion. Sure, it's still called Civilization Beyond Earth, which is why it's number 10 on the list, but previous games have had a lot more content, more refined ideas behind it, and it had me asking why wasn't that brought into Civilization Beyond Earth? Instead, it just feels relatively empty, possibly for future DLC and expansions to fill it out. It just fell short quite a ways from where it needed to land. They didn't seem to put much effort into the factions, the alien life, leader personalities, which are so important in the Civilization games, tech progression, just none of the same effort that went into previous games, like taking the easiest way out. This was my strategy game disappointment of 2014.
Alright, let's see here. Speed or food? Well, food. I just did that last game too. It's the same every time. What the hell?
Number 9. What the fuck, Ubisoft? The best deal. That shit. Look, CC. It's CC. Look at this shit right here. Corporate Commander. CC. You want to buy CC point? Now they're just being blatant. They saw the show, so they were like, alright, Angry Joe, fuck you. People gonna buy this anyway. CC! Corporate Commander points. How many Corporate Commander points are you gonna buy? How many Corporate Commander points does it take to beat the game? Might as well not even play the game. Let's just buy Corporate Commander points to beat it. The Crew. It's been a really rough year for Ubisoft. And it's about to get a whole lot rougher for them on this list. Because the first disappointment to make it on from Ubi is The Crew. This one really hurts me to put on because I had such high hopes for this game. And this game literally has two of the coolest features that I love in car games. Interior views and the new innovative explosion views showing all the cool engine parts and shit. It's car porn! Unfortunately, it's completely boring! Let my friend Elder Geek explain.
Gameplay-wise, players can take part in a few different types of missions. Main story missions that consist of races, time trials, escapes from the authorities or rival gang members, or bumping enemy cars until their car is broken, or a combination of the four. Side missions are played to get new parts for cars and a few extra bucks. They consist of racing through gates under a timer, smashing through obstacles under a timer. Yep, these two are essentially the same thing, except one's more off-road than the other. Maintaining a proper race line on a timer, staying on the road for as long as possible on a timer. Again, these two side missions are essentially the same. Escaping the ever-expanding radius, which is just staying on the road as long as possible, as fast as you can. jumps, and hill climbs. That sounds like a lot, but in reality there's only about 3 true variations of side missions here.
You have all of that, and you have rubber banding AI, lazy poor driving physics in this game, which is a killer, it's a car game. Car levels make no sense. Just all those repetitive missions that feel the same. Watch that video, help play the game, you'll understand it's just not exactly what it was supposed to be. It's not a terrible game, and that's why it's at number 9 and not on the bad list, but it just wasn't at all what I hoped. I wanted to build a clan of more than just 4 people, bring angry army racers into the game and ride in packs all across the United States in an MMO-like setting. But you just don't want to do that, and you're unable to do that beyond 4 players.
The only thing I wish that we could do is create an angry army crew where, you know, there's no limit to the amount of people that we can have. I don't know why the crew is just limited to 4 people. That sucks. You know, I want clans, and as far as I know, there's not really clans in the game. There's just your friends list, and then you can have up to 4 people in the crew.
It's just not worth it. You'll be squeezing the fun out of the game instead of having it in droves. I hope that there is a much improved sequel, or at least another dev duplicates the awesome exploding car parts mode in a future car game.
This could have been an amazing game. The Gran Turismo everyone has been dreaming of for years, combined with the do-anything mentality of a skate game. But the final result is nothing close to that. It feels like a watered-down corporate experience with no heart whatsoever.
Number 8.
Fuck Madden. It's a cancer on football fans that refuses to loosen its monopolizing grip on my favorite sport.
Blah 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 men blah 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 men blah 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 men.
It's not on the list this year. I just wanted to say that. But it could be, because it could be every year. No, this year, or 2014, EA gave us something worse. NHL 15, which actually takes several steps backwards going into the next gen. The worst part is the EA Sports team didn't learn their fucking lesson the last time they did the same exact thing with a feature-stripped Madden NFL 06 in 2005. And here we are in 2014, and EA Sports does the same fucking bullshit, only this time shitting on hockey fans at release. As I don't have the same experience with hockey games as others who love them, I'm gonna let someone who is more knowledgeable tell you about its horribly disappointing and shocking release. To be seen on YouTube.
Here's a list of game modes that were taken out of the game. No EASHL, no OTP, no GM Connected, no Shootout, no Live the Life, no Fantasy Draft, no Creation or Player Editing, no Create a Play, no Build Your AI, no Entry Draft for GM Mode, and no Real-Time Simulation for GM Mode. All of these being present in both NHL 13 and 14. Also, Be a Pro's gone backwards. It's basically NHL 12's Be a Pro, with no simming between shifts and a completely random entry draft. The only real game mode NHL 15 has to offer is Hockey Ultimate Team. I mean, I don't consider versus game online or offline to be a game mode, EA. I don't consider GM mode or a playoff mode to be an actual game mode. These are core elements to a hockey game in my opinion.
You should watch the rest of that video, it's really good. Now, yes, since they have patched in new modes and fixes into the game, but that essentially meant that all people who pre-ordered it and bought it day one and for several months were essentially buying an incomplete product, a fucking beta testing for EA Sports. And even in its current version, it's still horribly disappointing to hockey fans.
These are basic features that have been in NHL games for the last 20 years and should be in the game.
EA Sports is in the game.
Number 7.
speaking of EA fucking shit up and being lazy as hell, Sims 4. Sims 4 was a game we were all extremely hopeful for, especially after the success of 3, despite some flaws. We thought, hey, if 3 is this open, world and fantastic game with unlimited possibilities, they couldn't possibly change all that stuff, but instead improve on it in 4, right? Wrong! We all expected to go in and go all over the world, see the next generation options and graphics, but we were horribly disappointed. Customization I'm dumbfounded. It's extremely limited in outfits, hairstyles, no creative style anymore, no color palettes. Build mode is also limited in terms of multi-leveled construction, patios and things. It's loading screens. Loading screens are everywhere. In Sims 3, you're able to go from your house to any other house in the city, go to libraries, stores, gun ranges, apartment complexes, just really neat things, right? Pretty much anything you can think of without a loading screen. The Sims 4 was like the complete opposite of that. Want to go across the street? Loading screen. Want to go to the store? Loading screen. The loading screens have fucking loading screens. Neighborhoods, that open world concept has been replaced with this. What the fuck is this? You can't create new lots, you can only alter them. It felt at every turn that they had just segmented the game and decided that immersion or streamlining things didn't matter, or it mattered so much that it allowed them to use that as an excuse to take things out so that we could get inevitably the countless expansions that we're probably going to get for Sims 4. It's not a badly designed game. There are many improvements, but it's certainly not what it could have been. And maybe it will get better in the future with those packs. Until then, it is extremely disappointing in comparison to Sims 2 and even the original Sims in many elements.
So please, if you haven't paid for this game yet, don't. It's not worth it. Seriously, shame on this developer, shame on EA for ruining yet another treasured franchise.
Number 6.
Escape the concierge. That's a great way to escape.
I'm stuck.
That's awesome.
I'm stuck.
Yeah. Stop cradling this man. Stop
God damn it.
Stop molesting this man, Joe. God.
Jesus, I was stuck. I don't know what the fuck happened.
Assassin's Creed Unity. What's there to really say about this? A lot of us were expecting something fantastic following the success of Black Flag. Ubisoft had blown us away with the story in Black Flag and the ship-based combat. It just made the franchise more popular than ever. It's literally my favorite shit in this game now. Unfortunately, Unity removes all that made the previous 2 games great and offers nothing except for 4-player co-op and a beautifully rendered Paris. But impressive graphics are nothing if the game itself is absolutely dreadful and a complete bore to play through. The sad thing, though, is that at launch, this game was so unpolished that most couldn't even play it effectively, let alone enjoy it. Drops in frame rate, glitches, graphical pop-in. Hell, by all accounts, you'll needed a supercomputer on PC to get it above 30 frames per second if you were to be able to take that limitation off. I don't understand Ubisoft's inability with 60 frames per second. I personally didn't experience many crashes on PC, but I heard the console versions were a complete disaster, resulting in some of the most hilarious and disturbing looking bugs since Rome Total War II. It is a sad day when Ubisoft decides to market the hell out of this game, and it ends up being worse than its last gen Assassin's Creed, Rogue, that barely got any attention. Worse, the game has fucking nagging microtransactions.
What are we playing, a mobile game? This is what I'm interested in, Joe. I want to know how much each of those are.
Maybe chat knows.
Huh. Yeah, you better fucking hide your price or I'm gonna fucking flip!
$100 is the most.
No.
It says $9 to $99. 99 is the max value.
These are inexcusable in a supposed AAA game like this. Maybe the game would have been better to all of us had it not been plagued with so many issues. But not even then, because in the game you're doing the same shit you've done always in Assassin's Creed 1. There's no differentiation. It just feels all the same. Forget it. Just forget Assassin's Creed Unity. It didn't even happen. It's not worth your time.
Number 5.
Hello?
Hello, yes, about Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Here's what you do.
Yes, sir.
You add freaking jetpacks.
Jetpack?
Oh, and fucking lasers.
Laser.
Kids love lasers and jetpacks. Oh, look at this. Already. Sell those copies, yes. Press F. Press F. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I got it. Success, I did it again.
Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Call of Duty had a chance to be something different, to go back to the roots of modern warfare that so many people loved and cherished. They had the chance to evolve their game, change it for the better. In fact, it was the first Call of Duty that I was interested in buying in a long time, mainly due to the story draw of Kevin Spacey and the innovations and evolutions they seem to be doing in multiplayer. It was marketed as this future version of Call of Duty with new gameplay features like 3D movement with the jetpacks, vehicles, an immense array of tools and gadgets for you to use that were all fresh because we were slightly in modern ages ahead of modern ages. But they ended up doing what honestly felt like a copy paste of the previous game, but with jetpacks and lasers. It gets old. And then you had the PC with, again, no dedicated servers, peer-to-peer shit in 2014, and such a successful series like this is fucking bullshit. You have the constant NAT problems. It's ridiculous. The entire time I was playing, I just felt like going back and playing Titanfall, which did everything they tried to do but better. I was pretty much disappointed to the point where I don't really feel like playing another Call of Duty for a long time. You're gonna have to really impress me in the future, Call of Duty.
Hey, what are you doing?
You have no brain.
Number 4.
Come on, Titan! But even more depressing, Titanfall. That was even more disappointing. Because I come to expect crappiness from Call of Duty now. But in this new franchise that had new exciting, FPS gameplay, and honestly, I had a ton of fun. It was actually the game the first-person shooter that I had the most fun with in 2014. Combining, that fast gameplay with parkour, with mechs that soak a ton of damage, resulting in actual squad tactics and coordinated counterattacks. The game was immediately addictive with short match lengths that made that feeling of just playing just one more irresistible. Unfortunately, it became immediately apparent after just 1 or 2 days of playing how hollow the game actually was, how little content, extra content was there, and it lacked basic shocking things. I wanted to host tournaments, run the AJSA community in it, and play with a lot of friends, form a clan, but all of those options weren't available to anyone. Even with all that hype surrounding the game, they never spoke about it. Hell, private lobbies didn't even exist. There were no spectator tools, and the worst part, there wasn't a solid anti-cheat other than fair play, which really didn't punish blatant, crazy hackers. This made the game just devolve into a number of large aimbotters early on, at least on the PC. And eventually, it's what forced me out of the game. You tie into that a distinct lack of story, a very disappointing plot in which you keep asking yourself, who the hell was that, and why the hell should I care? I could have cared less. I was just rolling my eyes. I didn't even know his name, barely.
It's been an honor serving with you.
I don't even know who you are! All while repeating the same maps over and over for hours and hours, and you just feel like it could have been so much more. Titanfall delivered only a fraction of what it had the potential to, and because that small fraction was so good, it makes it even more painful. I really hope that in the future, they will do another Titanfall and do it a lot better and fill in the gaps to make it a real big blockbuster franchise, because it has the potential to be one.
This is I think this is the last level, so it has to be the most epic level. Boom, boom, boom! D-Day, oh shit, the fucking Titan! C, move to C!
I'm heading up to B.
I'll grab C.
Number 3.
Dedicated to protecting you and
Citizens of the gaming community, you have heard enough lies. It is time to hear the truth. Watch Dogs is not the game that was advertised to us. We have played it. It is not next gen. It is proof that corporate will tell you anything. You are vulnerable. One game has done exactly what we have warned you about. Now is the time to wake up.
Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs was yet another Ubisoft game that was overhyped and did not nearly live up to the expectations it had been getting. And maybe it was a little bit unfair, you think to yourself. But I'd argue that Ubisoft did it to themselves with its marketing. The final product was nowhere near as good as what we had been teased with for years. The graphics weren't as advertised, the activities not as wide-scoped, the protagonist was unlikable, dull, boring.
And if I had a 5-star police rating, I could get away in a fucking taxi boat.
Oh, that's hilarious. The plotline, extremely underwhelming and formulaic. What happened? They even had extra time to develop the game, as it was delayed multiple times. You didn't, for starters, have as much control of this city as you thought you would. The hacking, although cool, was limited in a lot of uses and very repetitive throughout the campaign. Hell, you couldn't do things that you wanted. You couldn't even punch people on the streets. It felt like there was this invisible hand of restriction dictating what you could do in this world. That's not fun. Personally, I expected to assume direct control of a city, become a hacking god that was really capable of doing impressive things. While there are a few of them, like turning off all the lights in the city, I just wanted the government to fear me and like cause crazy riots through hacking and citywide clashes between people with authority figures with all my technology. Instead, I just ended up chasing a kid around. I helped out some women from a prostitution ring, and I shot an old dude for being a creepy asshole.
Get a chance to talk to your mama?
And felt bad about some chick that I barely even knew who died. Plus, as I said, it was nowhere near what they advertised at E3, which made my entire experience disappointing with the game, knowing what it could have been, or what they advertised it as. Huge bummer.
I mean, look at poor Aiden. Oh, he's homeless. And he's pushing a cart. Oh, sad poor Aiden pushing a shopping cart. This is what his life has now become. Oh no, he dropped it. And he'll never be able to pick it up again. So now, you'll just push it. For the rest of your life, you'll be pushing a shopping cart. Because you're so sad. So sad.
Number 2.
Bae, this is how I feel about this game, okay? Ready?
Please stay away from me. Her emote is like, you can't even consult me. Just stay back.
The Elder Scrolls Online. TSO was the successor to Skyrim and was hyped to be everything that we ever could have wanted in an Elder Scrolls game. From all accounts, it was going to be an online Skyrim with friends in an MMO universe where you can shape the story and become a major part in it. Except that everything that we got was anything but!
But when I get back, what the fuck is this? See? This is the kind of shit that absolutely ruins this game. Every turn, every fucking corner, this game breaks immersion. Absolutely breaks immersion. You sit here, you see people just waiting around to farm these fucking bosses. Like, I can't see shit. Like, what the fuck is this? This is a joke.
Perhaps the issue was that the game wasn't actually made by Bethesda, the shepherds of the franchise. It felt like ZeniMax Online simply did not really have much experience in making a game like this, let alone MMOs. So the final product we were handed was something that was buggy, tedious, just not that pretty to look at in a lot of areas.
You're just gonna... Like, every single person got off that ship.
Okay. That's exciting.
I'm sorry, but this is pathetic. It's like they didn't even try.
It just was almost a chore to play through. I found myself forcing myself through sections that were just barely grabbing my attention. There was no world immersion. And with that being an amazingly huge part of previous Elder Scroll games, you thought there would be.
See, I can do it, but you take away the people when you do it.
That's so fucking stupid.
Like, what? Why even share a fucking quest? What is the point of sharing in this game at all? I don't even really work together with you on anything, really.
Oh, you have to wait for them to spawn? That's so fucking annoying. God damn. Grouping is pointless in the PvE world. That's the worst part about this MMO.
It's an MMO for fuck's sake.
It's like it can't fucking decide whether it wants to be a single player Elder Scrolls game, which it's not good enough to be, or an MMO version of Elder Scrolls.
You know, you're constantly surrounded by hundreds of other players, which made questing impossible at times, and never really felt like you were doing anything that mattered at all except for gamey mechanics. Worse, players not only had to spend $60 for the right to play this fucking lifeless disappointment, but you had to fork out a monthly subscription fee of $15 every month afterwards just for the right to continue. It felt like a complete cash grab by Bethesda's parent company just capitalizing on its most popular franchise without the heart and without the soul of what makes a good Elder Scroll game great.
Wow.
Wow, Elder Scrolls Online. Number 1. That's it? What the fuck? Son of a bitch. You done fucked it up. Destiny. We were all hopeful for Destiny. The trailers, the E3 demos, the hype that surrounded it, everything looked amazing. And what they were showing us this game would be filled our minds and made our imaginations run wild. Exotic planets, amazing weapons that you could find and earn. And best of all, it was made by Bungie, the people that brought us Halo that had good war stories in it. There was only one problem though. It was nothing like they made it out to be. From the get-go, the game lets you down. I have no idea what the fuck happened in that game.
I could tell you.
But I won't.
It seemed extremely evident there had been serious issues with the development that left out key parts of the game. There was no immersive storyline. There was no great plot. It was another extremely grindy game that punished people with RNG systems and poor planning. You'd spend dozens of hours working your ass off to get your gear, of which you had no control over the way it looks, or even how you'd get it. Fuck this guy! Seriously! Fuck you, Cryptarch!
You are nothing.
You're a piece of shit! RNG ran rampant through a game that was trying to be an MMO when it shouldn't have been. Or at least not the crappy elements of an MMO. Just making people frustrated, ruining hours of work, and you eventually were given nothing. While people on your team were given exotics and the greatest shit in the game for no reason other than chance. The combat wasn't even that great, although it is what held the game up. But still, in my opinion, it falls short of the original Halo games. The lack of ingenuity, the lack of vehicles, it just felt like something was missing from the game.
I'll see if these codes
Hold up. We gotta deploy a ghost here. Let me guess what's about to happen. This is maybe the 5th time this has happened. What is this, level 5 or 6?
Crypto systems.
Level 5.
Security lattice verified.
It's working. Outside, the array.
And horde mode.
Worse, it seemed that the game was, from the beginning, supposed to be divided up into neatly packed DLCs, which were on the disc, with Bungie planning to sell you content that you already owned repeatedly in the future. They could have used this content and developed it and to help the fact that the game was extremely limited and short at launch. But no, they didn't. Anyway, I could go on and on and on about Destiny and why it depressed me, but most have already heard it. If you haven't, check out my angry review and the post-review discussions for more. I just can't even bring myself to play the damn game anymore. For me personally, it is the most disappointing game of the year, hands down. Now, I want to know your most disappointing games of the year. Put them in the comments section, and I can't wait to read them. If you disagree with some of mine here, put down why. All right? All right, so there's, what is there? One more list left. The top controversies of 2014. Top 10 controversies. And boy, there's some doozies on the list. So, I'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show.
Man, this helicopter shit is unfair. Did I just crash? Seriously? I'm not gonna do what everybody thinks I'm gonna do, which is just flip out! Fuck you, Ubisoft!